Hey there, you looking kinda cute. Please consider subscribing and check out our Patreon for more. Enjoy the video. Why did I have to go through it? No one should have had a problem with the way I dressed. For years, I only showed up when it was dark and when the streets were empty. I wouldn't have gone outside if I hadn't been so excited about being a woman, feeling the summer breeze on my nyloned legs, having to take short steps because of my high heels and skirt, having my long hair blow across my face, and seeing the streetlights reflected on my long nails. 3 weeks ago, I was sure that I had become enough like a woman to feel comfortable going out in public. My eyebrows had been thinned out so much that I could make them look very feminine. However, when I was John, they didn't stand out. I had lost enough weight that my thin, hairless arms and legs could be made to look very girly. And after 8 months of hard training, I finally got my waist down to 24 inches with the help of a steel-boned corset. I thought I looked enough like a woman that I could walk down the main street without anyone suspecting anything was wrong. The only thing that made me stand out was the color of my eyes, a yellow color. I had never seen or talked to anyone whose irises were yellow. My parents told me that no one in the family had yellow eyes that they could remember. I kept putting off getting color contacts even though I needed them. I didn't think I'd need this much of a disguise right now. My goal was to take another look at the wedding dress that my fiancé, Amber, wanted so badly. It was in the front window of Sarago's, a high-end store for women's clothes. Amber was completely crazy about the dress, and to be honest, I was just as crazy about it. I can't count how many times she dragged me to the store window. There we were, each in our own world of timelessness, thinking about what it would be like to wear the dress. She had asked me more than once to go into the store with her so she could try on the dress. I just couldn't stand to see the dress fall out of the window and be hidden for 6 months in a garment bag. Amber didn't know that I loved women's clothes and the way women look. I've been thinking about this for 2 years, but I didn't have the courage to tell her about this new information about her knight in shining armor. I kept telling myself that I would stop cross-dressing once we got married. Yes, even though our clothes and shoes are the same size. I was totally in love with Amber, but I had become so obsessed with how I dressed that I thought time was running out. I had to feel like a woman at least once a day. I almost never went anywhere without my female underwear on. 10 days ago, I painted my toenails candy apple red. It was the most professional thing I've ever done, and I could never bring myself to take off the varnish. I was trying to figure out how to get my ears pierced. About a mile separated my apartment from Sarago's. I would walk there, slowly getting used to being in femme in public. That night, I was so excited I could hardly sleep. I would be able to look at the dress by myself and let my dreams come true without Amber getting in the way. Several strangers had already passed me. No one had seen me as anything other than an attractive woman in her early 20s with a nice figure, good clothes, and a beautiful smile. After working on my voice for several hours in the afternoon, I felt like I could answer common questions like, "Hi, yes, it's a beautiful evening. Devon Street is 2 blocks in that direction, and no, thank you, I don't want company." As I dealt with situation after situation, my confidence grew by leaps and bounds. I was wearing my off-white mini dress with shoulder straps. The dress made the most of my corseted waist, which made my bust stand out and gave me very feminine hips. I had on shoes with straps that were 4 inches long and looked way too delicate to be useful. The thin straps held my toes together, making them look like 2 little red flower arrangements. I could feel the straps around my ankles tightening. I really liked the shoes. Lastly, my real human hair wig was a mass of soft curls that flowed down my back to my waist. It was like an auburn halo around my face. When I walked, I could feel the hair on my neck and shoulders. I felt like I could do anything. I finally stood in front of the store with the wedding dress. As I thought about how I would look in it, my mind slowly went blank. I don't know if I had been there for a few seconds or a few hours when I heard a voice behind me say, "Isn't that the most beautiful dress? My brother's fiancé chose it." Oh my God, it was my sister. I was so surprised that I said the first thing that came to mind, but in a perfect female contralto. Amber will look gorgeous in it. My brain entered a delete as the signal left for my mouth, but my mouth had already completed its instruction. June grabs my wrist and swings in front of me. "You know, Amber, let me introduce myself. I am John's sister, June. Who are—" and I can see a hint of recognition in her eyes. "Good God, John, it's you." Her eyes now look at everything about me, from my feet to my hair. She now knows that the boy in front of her is her younger brother. He is wearing high heels, nylons, a pretty dress, full makeup, and beautiful hair. He is also talking like a normal young woman. "John, what on earth have you done?" She is still holding on to my wrist. When I was a kid, she did the same thing. When she found out I had done something wrong, she had a steel grip. "June, please let me go. I'd rather not talk about it right now. I'll tell you everything about it tomorrow," he said. But she grabbed my left wrist with a firm grip. When my mom came out of the store and started walking toward June, I looked behind her in horror. From 30 feet away, she was looking at us. "June, let go of me now before my mom sees me," I said. The next 10 seconds went by slowly. But June was always stubborn, and she grabbed my wrist until my mom came over. "June, is this a student of yours? Oh my God, your eyes are just like my son John's. Now, June, let me go," and in a very feminist way, both hands came up to cover my face. I got a lump in my throat and tears started to come to my eyes. I finally gave up and put my hands down by my sides. I was about to cry as I looked at them. I couldn't look any more like a girl if I tried. My mother said, "John, you look absolutely stunning. We need to talk." I thought she meant we needed to talk at home, so I didn't say anything as I was led across the street to my sister's car. I don't see any reason to go back to my awkward male slouch. Instead, I try to walk like a young lady as much as I can. They notice that I act like a woman, and when they raise an eyebrow, I give them one of my power smiles that shows off my white teeth and full red lips. I was so focused on trying to look as feminine as possible that I didn't realize we had entered the downtown cafe until we were already inside. In answer to my silence, my mother says, "I thought we could all use a cup of coffee and a chat before we meet your father." The hostess, Barbara, is the mother of my fiancé. I said, my world comes to an end. I had forgotten she worked here until she walked up to me. I try to hide in my mom and June. She looks at my mom and sister and says, "Jennifer, June, it's nice to see you. Do you want a late meal or just a cup of coffee?" Then she looks at me and her hostess smile disappears. She looks at my whole outfit, from my open-toed shoes to my drop earrings, and says, "This can't be the same John that my daughter is madly in love with and planning to marry, can it?" I try to smile again. "It's a costume for Halloween," I say in a lame way. "Oh, sure," she says. "And the female manners and refinements came with the mid-August sale. 3 coffees over here," she says, pointing in the general direction of the coffee station. A waitress brings 3 cups of coffee. When I look at Barbara, I see that she is on the phone and having a pretty lively conversation. Amber will surely be here soon to see the show. I look back at my sister and mom and see that they are both looking at my fingernails with attention. My nails are stuck together. My fingers are already kind of skinny, and even if I say so myself, they look way more feminine than their hands. Finally, my sister breaks the silence that has been around our table for a while. "John, what do you call yourself?" Her voice is hesitant and has a little bit of anger in it. "I'd rather not tell. Come on, you can't be John." "That's not right," my mother says. "Jennifer is my name." It comes out of my mouth, as if I had been told to say it. Something in me had just snapped. It could have been fear. Maybe it was the fact that I knew my act was up. I'm not sure. Ever since I walked into the cafe, my voice had a feminist tone to it. It gave me strength, so I kept going as a strong woman instead of freaking out as a scared man in drag. "Well, Jenny, I have to say that you are a very persuasive woman. How long have you been dressing up? Where is this going?" She takes my hand. "I want you to know that no matter what happens, I will always be your mother and love you," she says. June isn't as understanding. "I don't know if I'm ready to have a femme as a sister. I've only just gotten used to introducing a brother to the human race. I have to say that our mom is right about one thing. You are absolutely beautiful. Why are you doing this, though? I can't help but stare at my sister, who is wearing a big sweater, jeans, and no makeup. Then I look at my mother, who is wearing a baggy shirt and slacks but looks nice. Now I can finally talk. Compared to men, I think women are works of art. The clothes they wear are so pretty and sensual. Most of the time, men's clothes are made to be useful. They cover the body or brag about how important they are to other men. Women's clothes fit their bodies and show what they think about themselves on the inside. Shoes with thin soles show off beautiful feet. The legs are covered in a material that makes them shine. Girls' dresses show off their natural hourglass shapes. A woman must be able to use 1,000 different hairstyles and colors to look different and attractive. Since you last saw me a half hour ago, you've told me I'm stunning and beautiful. You haven't said as many nice things about John in the past 18 years. It's what people expect. And satin and nylon feel different than anything else I've worn as a man. It feels good. Even my high heels get people interested. I feel so alive in this outfit. My sister looks at my mom and says, "I don't know about you, Mom, but I feel really fat in these clothes all of a sudden." "Why don't you put on some lipstick, June?" asks Mom as she hands her daughter her purse. Now that I've been found out, I can say what I've never been able to say before. I want to be beautiful, and I want people to like me. "You can totally pass as a girl," my mom tells me with a loving smile. "Well, I do have a problem with a brother who looks better than me." My sister is looking at us like a little girl with lipstick all over her mouth. Mom and I can't help it. We can't help but laugh out loud. She puts on her lipstick again with a passion I've never seen before, and her smile tells me she's also on board. We all pick up our cups of coffee at the same time, take a sip, and put them back on the table. Another round of laughter acknowledges the fact that two things are happening at the same time. This brings over Barbara, who has been a family friend for a long time, and comes over with her coffee. "I think I should join you since it looks like you're having a lot of fun with this," I face Barbara. "I just hope Amber doesn't completely lose interest. If she keeps pushing, I'll stop using this female trick. I want to be Amber's husband more than anything, but I felt like life was closing in on me and I would soon no longer be Jenny. I love how I look like a girl and want to look like a girl. But I love Amber and want to do what she wants and needs." I start to cry and June gives me a tissue. Barbara responds, "Well, Jenny, you'd better come up with something because Amber will be here soon." I told her you were having coffee with 2 other people and that something unexpected had happened. "Jenny, another girl has never hit on Amber before, so I don't know how she will react to you. She can't think this is a joke because you make it seem too real. And before you say anything about not being a girl, John, I see a lot of girls, and you are right up there with the best of them. If we can just get over this, Barbara, I promise I'll make her happy. Do you have any ideas for what I could do or say?" "Too late, Jenny," my mom says. "Amber just walked into the cafe." Thanks for watching. Check out Patreon if you want to have early access to the other parts. If not, it will be online in a couple of days.